Hello students, this video is for the subject Power Electronics and PLC, and this subject is for 5th semester Electrical and Electronics Diploma Engineering students. So today's topic is the BI characteristics of SCR. You can also name or called it as the static anode cathode characteristics of SCR. So BI characteristics of SCR consist of uh, this part. The BI characteristics of SCR mainly consist of three. It belongs to the three modes of operations of SCR which we have discussed in earlier classes. So in this slide, this part is the this part is the BI characteristics of SCR. This graph represents the BI characteristics of SCR, and this graph comprises of the three modes of operation of SCR, and this circuit represents the elementary circuit of SCR. Okay. So the BI characteristics of SCR comprises of three modes of operation of SCR. The three modes of operations are the reverse blocking mode, forward blocking mode, and the forward conduction mode. So based on these three modes of operation, the BI characteristics of SCR has three part. The first part is the reverse blocking region, second part is the forward blocking region, third part is the forward conduction region. So we will discuss all these regions of BI characteristics of SCR in details. So before that, we first starts from the elementary circuit. So to understand about the BI characteristics of SCR, first we need to put this SCR in a power circuit, because SCR is a power semiconductor device. So when we put these SCRs in a power semiconductor, when we put these power semiconductor devices here, the device is the SCR in the power circuit, then that circuit operate for a particular task. It's like a rectifier circuit, inverter circuit, any conversion circuits, etc. So first we use these devices in the power circuit. So in this elementary circuit, SCR's anode cathode are supplied from the main power supply, that is E, and the gate cathode circuit supplied from the source EG. Okay, so this is all about the elementary circuit of SCR. Here the SCR is connected to the main power supply through the external load. So what happens when we give the supply to this power semiconductor device? Let's see through this VI characteristics of SCR. So in the VI characteristics of SCR, the first region is the reverse blocking region. Okay, and in the reverse blocking region or reverse blocking mode, what happens that when cathode is made positive with respect to anode with switch S open. So when cathode is positive with respect to anode with switch S is open is this part. Okay, this is the this represents the reverse blocking mode or reverse blocking region operation. So what happens when cathode is positive with respect to anode and switch S open? The thyristor is reverse biased here. Okay, and the junctions J1, here are the three junctions J1, J2, J3. So junction J1 and J3 are reverse biased, whereas junction J2 is forward biased. So here the device behaves as if two diodes are connected in series with reverse voltage applied across them. Okay, so what happens in this case? A small amount of leakage current, which is of the order of few milliampere or few microampere, flows through the device. Okay, so this is the reverse blocking mode, or it is also called as off state of the SCR. Okay, so if this reverse voltage, this plus and this minus. This is the reverse voltage for SCR. So if this reverse voltage um, if this reverse voltage is increased, then at a critical breakdown level called reverse breakdown voltage, that is VBR. So here this part is the reverse blocking region. So when we increase the reverse voltage across the SCR, so at a critical breakdown voltage called reverse breakdown voltage, that is VBR, this is. So at this voltage, an avalanche breakdown occurs at J1 and J3, because here J1 and J3 are reverse biased. Then reverse current increases rapidly. So here this part is where the reverse current increases rapidly. So here a large current associated with VBR gives rise to more losses in the SCR. Okay, because here in this region, so current is also higher and voltage is also higher. So this gives rise to more losses in the SCR, and this may lead to the thyristor damage. Okay, so we should avoid to operate the SCR below this level or below this region. We should avoid, we always avoid the SCR to operate below, or to operate in this part only. In the reverse case, we should not allow the SCRs to operate beyond this VBR level. Okay, so in case of SCRs, the maximum working reverse voltage is do not exceed VBR. Okay, so the maximum reverse voltage which is applied to the SCR should not exceed VBR. Okay, so the reverse voltage applied across the thyristor is always less than VBR, and in this case the device offers a high impedance in the reverse direction. So this state is the off state of SCR. Okay, so next come to the forward blocking mode. So what happens in the forward blocking mode? So when anode is positive with respect to cathode, this part where anode is positive with respect to cathode, so what happens? The thyristor is said to be forward biased, and what happens in the junctions? In this case, junction J1 and J3 are forward biased and junction J2 is reverse biased. So in this mode of operation, a small amount of current called forward leakage current flows through the device. Okay, and this reason is the forward blocking mode, and this part is the forward leakage current part. Okay, so in this case, the forward voltage, if we increase the forward voltage, then the reverse bias junction J2, I told you, junction J1 and J3 forward bias and junction J2 reverse bias. So if we increase the forward voltage, then the reverse bias junction J2 will have an avalanche breakdown. So that avalanche breakdown is represented as VBO. Okay, so what happens when we increase the forward voltage? Then the reverse bias junction J2 will have an avalanche breakdown at the voltage level called forward breakover voltage, that is VBO. So when forward voltage is less than VBO, SCR offers a high impedance, because in this region SCR is in off state. So below VBO level, SCR operate high impedance. Okay, so in this part also SCR remains in off state, and any SCR will not conduct any type of flow of current. So here this region is the forward blocking mode. Okay, so next come to forward conduction mode. So what happens in forward conduction mode? See, in the forward conduction mode, the thyristor conducts current from anode to cathode with a very small voltage drop across it. Okay, so a thyristor is brought from forward blocking mode to forward conduction mode by turning it on by exceeding the forward breakover voltage or by applying a gate pulse between gate and cathode. So in this mode, thyristor is in on state and behaves like a closed switch, and the voltage drop across thyristor in the on state is of the order of 1 to 2 volt depending upon the SCR rating. Okay, so if we see, if we in the previous state, the thyristor is in forward blocking state. So when we increase the anode to cathode voltage beyond this VBO, then avalanche breakdown occur at this voltage VBO and thyristor will conduct. Or if we apply gate supply in between gate and cathode, if we apply EG or we apply gate signal, then what happens? If we apply gate signal, the forward breakover voltage level is decreased, like this part. If we increase the gate current level gradually, if we increase the gate current level gradually, the VBO level, the breakover voltage level is also decreased, and the thyristor conduct the current. Okay, and the thyristor switches from off state to on state. So we can turn on the thyristor by increasing the anode to cathode voltage and reach up to VBO level, or by applying gate signal, gate to cathode circuit. You apply gate signal in between gate to cathode circuit, then also VBO level decreased, and then current can flow from anode to cathode. Okay, so when the thyristor conduct in the on state, the voltage drop across thyristor is 1 to 2 volt, and once the thyristor switch from off state to on state, this part is the on state, here the voltage drop is 1 to 2 volt, and in this region current rises rapidly, current rises linearly. Okay, so in the conduction mode, anode current is limited by load impedance. This is the load impedance. Once the thyristor is in on state, uh, once the thyristor is in on state, it acts like a closed switch. So in this case or here, the anode current is limited by load impedance, because the voltage drop across the SCR is now very small. That's why the load current is limited by, or the anode current is limited by load impedance. Okay, and this small voltage drop, this part has some small voltage drop across the device, which is due to the ohmic drop in the four layers. So these are the four layers. So when the thyristor will conduct in these layer, there is having some ohmic drop, and due to this ohmic drop, there will have always some voltage drops. Okay, so we will describe all the details of the we will understand all the details of VI characteristics thoroughly in the mode of whiteboard. I will explain you all the details of VI characteristics in the whiteboard after this video session. Okay, hello students, let's understand the VI characteristics of SCR. So let me draw the elementary circuit for the VI characteristics of SCR. So this is the elementary circuit diagram for obtaining the VI characteristics of SCR. Here the anode and cathode are connected. Anode and cathode are connected to the main source through load. This is the main source E. This is anode, this is cathode. So anode and cathode are connected to the main source through load. This part is the load. And the gate and cathode are fed from another source. This point is gate and this point is cathode. So gate and cathode are fed from another small amount of source, that is Eg. Here Eg is less than the main power source E. Okay, so and here VA is the anode cathode voltage. VA is equal to anode cathode voltage. IA equal to anode current. Okay, so the thyristor VI characteristics is divided into three regions of operation. These three regions of operation I am already told you in the previous class. The main three region or three mode of operation are reverse blocking region, reverse blocking mode, or in this case region, forward blocking region, and forward conduction region. So I told you in the previous class, SCR has the three mode of operation, that is reverse blocking mode, forward blocking mode, forward conduction mode. Forward reverse blocking mode and forward blocking mode both are operate as a off state, and forward conduction mode operate as an on state. So here also VI characteristics mainly divided into three region of operation. Those three region of operation are this: reverse blocking region, forward blocking region, forward conduction region. So for this, for to understand the VI characteristics of SCR, we need to draw first the VI characteristics graph. So first let me draw the VI characteristics graph. So this is VA, this is IA, this is minus VA, this is minus IA. Okay, this is O, this is VBO, this is O, this part is the M, this part is N point, this is the K point. Okay, and this is the P point, this is Q point. Okay, this is VBR. VBR. So this is the VI characteristics of SCR. I will explain you in details. Okay. So VI characteristics of SCR consist of three regions. So first we discuss about the reverse blocking region. Reverse blocking region. So what you found in this which part is the reverse blocking region? The reverse blocking region is this part is the reverse blocking region. Okay. So what happens in this reverse blocking region? So how we understood the reverse blocking region? So from this circuit diagram we will study the reverse blocking region. So how? When cathode is made positive with respect to anode, cathode is made positive with respect to anode. That means we put here positive supply and here negative. So when cathode is made positive, so this I will draw here one layer diagram part, so you can understood in better way. You can understand in better or clearly. P N. Okay. This is anode. This is cathode. This is gate. So how you understand? How you understand the reverse blocking region? From this layer diagram also you can understand the reverse blocking region. So what? When cathode is made positive with respect to anode and with switch S open, this is the switch S. With switch S, this is the switch, means the gate circuit is open. So with switch S, that means the gate circuit is open. So what happens when cathode is positive with respect to anode? The thyristor becomes reverse biased. This is the thyristor becomes reverse biased, because I told you when this is open and when cathode is made positive with respect to anode, there is three junctions, J1, J2, J3. So here this is reverse bias, this is reverse bias, and this is forward bias. So due to these two reverse bias, so the whole thyristor becomes reverse bias or in reverse blocking region, or it is in reverse blocking mode. So in this region the thyristor exhibit a blocking characteristic similar to that of cathode. So like in a diode, when diode is in reverse blocking mode, diode will not conduct any kind of flow. Diode is not conducting the flow of any type of flow of current, like similar to the diode. Here also thyristor exhibit a blocking characteristics. Okay, blocking characteristics like this. This is the blocking characteristics. Okay, in this reverse bias condition, the outer junction, this is J1, and the junction J3 are reverse bias, and the middle junction J2 is forward biased. And what happens? And only a small leakage current, this part is the leakage current, only a small leakage current, that means it is in milliampere range. So small amount of leakage current will flow if the reverse voltage, this part, this voltage, okay, if the reverse voltage is increased, what happens then if the reverse voltage is increased, then at a critical breakdown level, this is the breakdown level VBR. So then at a critical breakdown level, this is called reverse breakdown voltage VBR. Reverse breakdown voltage. So when the reverse voltage is increased, then at a critical level, that is known as reverse breakdown voltage VBR, this level, an avalanche breakdown will occur. Avalanche breakdown occur at junction J1 and J3. I told you avalanche breakdown always occur at the
reverse bias junction. So at J1 and J3 there is an avalanche breakdown occur. So what happens after avalanche breakdown? Then an avalanche breakdown will occur at J1 and J3, which increases the current sharply. This part is the current increasing sharply. Okay. So if this current is not limited to a safe value, then what happens? Then power dissipation will increase to a dangerous level. If this current will increases sharply, so at this level voltage is also higher, current is also higher. So by combination of, by the product of voltage and current, P is equal to Vi. So if voltage is higher, current is also higher, then power dissipation will also occur in a dangerous level. Power dissipation will increase to the dangerous level, and this may destroy the device. So the region PQ is reverse avalanche region. This is the reverse avalanche region. Okay. OP is the reverse blocking region, PQ is the reverse avalanche region. Understood? So if the reverse voltage applied across the device is below this critical value, then the device will behave as a high impedance device. Normally it acts as an open switch in this condition, in the reverse direction. So if the reverse voltage across this part is the reverse voltage, if the reverse voltage is applied across this device is below this critical value, below this VBR, reverse breakdown voltage, then the device will behave as a high impedance device. High impedance device, that means it acts as a open switch. Why I termed it as open switch? Because thyristor is used as a switch only in the power circuit. Power circuit means, I told you, in the conversion circuit, that is the main power circuit. So in that circuit SCR is used as only as a switch. So what is the role of SCR? It only operate as a open switch and closed switch. By opening it will perform one operation, by closing it will perform another operation. So in this part of operation the SCR act as a high impedance device or open switch. High impedance means, obviously impedance is high, means it will not allow any kind of flow of current. That's why it act as a open switch. Got it? Understood up to this point? And then the next portion is the forward blocking region. So before going to forward blocking region, I am just telling you some important thing related to this layer diagram. So in this layer diagram of SCR, it is not only about P and PN. Actually it is represented by its doping level. Normally this is P plus, N minus, P minus, N plus. Okay, these are the layer diagram with the representation of the doping level. P plus means the highly doped P layer, N minus means lightly doped N layer, P minus means lightly doped P layer, N plus means highly doped N layer. So the inner two regions of SCR are lightly doped. Obviously, and I am showing you N minus, P minus. So what you conclude from this diagram, that the inner two regions, this is and this is, are lightly doped as compared to the outer layer. It is highly doped. So the thickness of J2, this is the J2, the thickness of J2 depletion layer during the forward bias condition will greater than the total thickness of the two depletion layer, that is J1 and J3. So what you understood, what you get from this point, that the thickness of this J2 depletion layer during forward bias condition will greater, means here the depletion layer, the thickness of the depletion layer will greater as compared to the total thickness of the two depletion layer at J1 and J3. That means depletion layer at J2 will greater than the total thickness of the depletion layer J1 and J3. So by combining we get the total thickness, that means the thickness of J1 label, J1 junction, and the thickness of the J3 junction. So the total thickness of the J1 and J3, whatever it may be, so the thickness of J2 is always greater than the total thickness of J1 and J3 in this case. Got you? So when this is forward bias and these two are reverse bias, thickness of the depletion layer at J2 is always greater than the total thickness of junction J1 and J3 when these two are in reverse bias. Okay, this is the mode where J1 and J3 in reverse bias and J2 is in forward bias. Okay, so therefore the forward breakover voltage VBO is generally higher than the reverse breakover voltage VBR. Okay, so I told you the width of depletion layer is inversely proportional to the voltage across anode and cathode. So whatever the voltage, by the time when we increases the voltage across anode and cathode, the thickness of the depletion layer will decreases. They are inversely proportional to each other. So here the thickness of J2 is greater as compared to this, so what happens? So when I told you what is this VBO, then we will understood this point more clearly. Okay, so let's go to first VBO. What is this VBO? Okay, so VBO means what? So next, over the reverse blocking region is over, then next come to forward blocking region. So what happens in forward blocking region? In this region, when anode is made positive with respect to cathode, that means this point, when anode is made positive and cathode is made negative, and the switch also again open, then what happens? J1 and J3 are forward bias and J2 is a reverse bias. So what happened? After this condition, then only very small amount of forward leakage current will flow through the device. So this part is the forward leakage current. So this OM region is the forward blocking region, and in this region device will not conduct, that means it is a off state. Okay, so the next region is the forward conduction region. So after going through this forward conduction region, I will tell you what is this VBO and how this VBO is related to VBR. Okay, so when anode to cathode voltage, so forward blocking state is this. So at this stage we will apply some type of, we will modify some part in this stage. What? When anode to cathode voltage is increased with gate circuit open. Gate circuit means this switch is open. So when this voltage is increased with this switch open, then an avalanche breakdown occur at junction J2. That avalanche breakdown occur at the level of voltage, anode to cathode voltage, at a level of a critical voltage level. That level is the VBO, forward breakover voltage. VBO equal to forward breakover voltage. Okay, so when we increase this anode to cathode voltage with gate circuit open or switch open, then avalanche breakdown occur at the junction J2 at a critical voltage level, and that voltage is the VBO, forward breakover voltage, and the SCR switches into a low impedance condition. Means the SCR has low impedance condition. At this part, this here will occur low impedance condition. That means open circuit condition. Means obviously if a circuit operate like a low impedance, then obviously current will flow through that path. So here also in this case the device is in low impedance condition, that means it is in high conduction mode, or it is in closed switch, it act like a closed switch. Okay, so the forward breakover voltage corresponding this point M when the device latches onto the conducting state. Here the forward breakover voltage is this point. Okay, after this point M, the device latches on and to the conducting state. So after this point M, so the device shift to the on state. From this point to this point, this is the forward blocking state. But after this point M, the device shift to the on condition. So after this, the device is in forward conduction mode. So this part is the forward conduction, this region, conduction region. Understood? So here the region MN shows the device latches to on state. So this is draw like a dotted line. So this is very unstable part, unstable state. We cannot draw it in a solid, we cannot show it in a solid line because it is very unstable. It is like a transient portion. So here the device switches very rapidly from off state to on state, which we cannot see, or we cannot define in a particular define through any particular graph. This is the unstable part, that's why it is represented like a dotted line. So at this, from in between M and N, device switches from off state to on state. Okay, and the voltage across the device drops from several hundred volts to 1 to 2 volt. So after switching from off state to on state, the voltage drop across this device is now jumped from 100, means for example, in case of off state, the voltage drop across the device is let it be 100 volt. So after the device latches or switches to on state, so voltage drop across the device during on state shifts or lower to the 1 to 2 volt. This part, this is the on state voltage drop. Here the voltage drop is like range between 1 to 2 volt. Understood? Depending on the SCR rating, whatever the SCR rating, according to that voltage rating, voltage drop value is decided. Okay, so and at this stage, at point N, a very large amount of current starts flowing through the device. This is the current graph. This is a large amount of current will flow through the device. Understood? This is NK. This stage is the forward conduction region. Okay, forward conduction state or forward conduction region, this is. So in this high conduction mode, the anode current is determined by external load impedance. This is the external load impedance. So whatever the anode current will flow through the device in the forward conduction state, the total current is wholly controlled by the external load impedance. Understood? So when the thyristor conducts forward current, this is the forward current, then it acts like a closed switch. Understood? So now you understood clearly VBO, what it means VBO. So what I told in this part, that the inner two region of the SCR are lightly doped as compared to the outer layers. Here it is lightly doped, here it is lightly doped, here it is heavily doped, here it is heavily doped. So these two inner regions are highly doped as compared to the outer layers. So though it is lightly doped, the thickness of the depletion layer at junction J2 is greater as compared to the total thickness of junction J1 and junction J3, because here one highly doped layer, one lightly doped layer, here also one highly doped layer, one lightly doped layer. That's why in this part the thickness of the depletion layer is greater. Understood? So that's why the forward breakover voltage is generally higher than the reverse breakover voltage, because obviously here if the thickness of the junction depletion layer of junction J2 is greater, then so this P layer, N layer are highly doped, and the inner N layer and P layer are lightly doped, and so that the thickness of depletion layer at junction J2 is greater as compared to the total thickness of the thickness of depletion layer of junction J1 and J3. So what I want to tell you that when this junction is reverse bias and its thickness is greater, that means the voltage required to reduce this thickness is obviously greater. So during the conduction or forward biasing mode, the required voltage to break down this voltage, to break down this depletion layer, to minimize the thickness of the depletion layer, the required voltage is greater as compared to the voltage in the reverse direction. What is the voltage in the reverse direction required to break down is the reverse breakdown voltage, that is VBR. So in case of reverse mode, what happened, this junction is reverse bias and this junction is reverse bias and the middle junction is forward bias. So if the thickness is minimum here, so obviously the voltage required to reach the avalanche breakdown, that required amount of voltage is obviously lesser as compared to this VBO. So that's why the voltage VBO is higher than the voltage VBR. Okay, because in forward direction we need to break this junction, we need to break this depletion layer, and in reverse direction and in reverse bias mode we need to break the layer depletion layer, or we need to break the junction J1 and J3. So that's why the voltage VBO is greater as compared to voltage VBR. Clearly understood about this part? Then next, I already told you the forward conduction region also, how the device switches from off state to on state when it reaches VBO, forward breakover voltage. But now I told you another part of this forward conduction region. What it is? I mentioned that when we apply positive voltage at anode and negative voltage at cathode with switch S open, then what happens when we increase this voltage, then one critical breakdown voltage reached, and that voltage is VBO, and after reaching this voltage level, this J2 junction will the depletion layer at this junction is reduced and current conduction starts, and or current starts flowing through this junction. Okay, so now we do some modification at this process of the we do some modification. What we do, we are not increasing this voltage. What we do then, we do what we do, we need to close this switch. That means we apply some gate signal. That means obviously if I close this switch, then this circuit is completed, and current will flow from this supply, this source EG, and current will flow through this closed path. Okay, so now the gate signal is applied when I close this switch S. So when the gate signal is applied, the thyristor turn on before VBO is reached. That means before we reach to this VBO label, thyristor can be turned on. So the voltage, the forward voltage at which the device switches to on state depends upon the magnitude of gate current. Okay, what I told you, that the forward voltage at which, this is the forward voltage at which the device switches to on state depends on the magnitude of gate current. This is Ig. Okay, so Ig, if Ig increases rapidly, then the voltage required to turn on the device is reduced. Okay, so at first, at this point, we are not applying any kind of gate current. So at this point, Ig is equal to 0. That's why VBO reached, and the device will shift from off state to on state or forward conduction region. So here forward breakover voltage is VBO, but after this point we will apply some gate current. Let it be Ig1. So this stage is Ig1, this part. So if I apply Ig1, the forward breakover voltage is less than VBO. So now the forward breakover voltage label is this part. Let it be V1. Let it be V1. So now the V1 label obviously reduced. It is lesser than VBO. So again I will apply another gate gate voltage, that is Ig2. That means I am increasing the gate current label Ig. First Ig equal to 0. Initially it is Ig equal to 0, and then I shift to Ig1, then I increase the Ig value to Ig2. So gradually when I increase the gate current label, the forward breakover voltage label is reduced. So in this label, the breakover voltage is like V2, here Ig3. So here breakover voltage is V3. So what you see, gradually Ig value increases and voltage level decreased. It is nearer to, it goes to the 0 level. It goes towards to this direction. So obviously from 0 to, if I go from 0 to this way, the voltage value obviously increases. So if I go from this part to this way, obviously the voltage level decreases. So what you see, that Ig3, Ig2, Ig1, this is greater than Ig2, this is greater than Ig1. So according to this breakover voltage, that is V3, V2, V1, so V3 is less than V2, then V2 is less than V1, and obviously in here in this side this is VBO, V1 is less than VBO. So gradually breakover voltage level decreases or reduced. Okay, so the magnitude of gate current is more than the minimum gate current required to turn on the SCR. Always the magnitude of gate current is more than the minimum gate current required to turn on the SCR. So the typical gate current magnitudes are order of 20 to 200 milliampere. So gate current ranges from 20 to 200 milliampere. So the magnitude of gate current is always more than the minimum gate current required to turn on the SCR. Whatever be the minimum gate current required to turn on the SCR, so actually the magnitude of gate current is always more than the minimum level of gate current. So once the SCR is conducting a forward current that is greater than the minimum value, it is called as a latching current. So there are two terms you need to know now, that is latching current level. I am erasing this part. Okay, so there is two term you need to know, that is latching current level. This is I am representing as IL, and this part ILIH. What is this ILIH? I'm telling you just now. So IL means latching current and IH means holding current. So what is this latching current and holding current? Latching current is what? So once the SCR is conducting a forward current, this part is the conducting region. So in this part, SCR is conducting a forward current that is greater than the minimum value. So is called latching current. Okay, so the SCR is conducting in this part. So latching current is the minimum level of anode current beyond which the thyristor is conducting forward current or thyristor is remaining on state. So IL is the minimum value of the forward current or the anode current beyond which the thyristor is conducting a forward current or the thyristor is remaining on state. So after reaching this forward conduction region beyond latching current level, so the gate signal is no longer required to maintain the device in its on state. So initially in this part I just put gate signal to turn on the thyristor. So once the thyristor is in on state, then there is no longer required of the gate current or gate signal to maintain the device in its on state, because after the latching current level the device is in conduction state or in on state. There is no requirement of the gate signal. Okay, now we can remove the gate signal also. Okay, so removal of the gate signal will not affect the conduction of anode current. Okay, understood? So the SCR will return to, then the how SCR is turned off. So the SCR is returned to its original forward blocking state. That means the SCR is returned to forward blocking state. Forward blocking state means this part, forward blocking region means off state. So the SCR will return to its off state if the anode current falls below a low level that is known as holding current, IH. So SCR will turn off when the anode current falls below a low level current that is known as holding current. Got you? Understand? Got it or understood this part? So latching current is related to the on state and holding current is related to the off state. Okay. In most of the industrial applications, this holding current can be regarded as very minimum. It is nearly equal to, approximately it is up to, it is equal to the zero. In many industrial applications, wherever there is conversion circuits, power circuits, where the SCR device is power semiconductor device, SCR is used, in that case the holding current level is nearly equal to zero. Okay, but here in the theoretical part, the holding current is typically 10 milliampere. It is very minimum level value. Okay, very low level value. So it is 10 milliampere. Understood from this up to this part? So the holding current is usually lower than or very close to the latching current. So what you learn, that holding current is always less than latching value, but it is nearer to latching value but not equal to latching value. It is always less than latching value but nearer to latching value. Okay, so always holding current is less than latching current. So holding current relate to off state, latching current relate to on state. Okay, so from these discussion we clear that the more convenient, reliable and efficient method to turn on the SCR is the gate drive or gate triggering method. Gate triggering method means gate signal application method. So it it is more convenient, reliable and efficient method. By applying gate signal to turn on the SCR is the most reliable method. Okay, so understood uh, all details of the VI characteristics of SCR. What is this? Forward breakover voltage, reverse breakdown voltage, and then holding current, latching current. Now we understood all this. Okay.